You're listening to the Platte River Bard.
Hello, and welcome to the Platte River Bard. This is Chris Berger.
And I'm Sherry Berger.
And we are here at Bellevue Little Theatre with, once again, our friend Todd Uhrmacher. What is he doing?
Welcome.
I am directing Young Frankenstein here.
Yes!
Yay!
We love Young Frankenstein. Awesome.
Yes, the Mel Brooks musical.
Yes, indeed. It's coming
sign
around.
right now.
It's such a fun musical.
Open September 13th through the 29th.
I will say Friday the 13th.
Friday the
Very
13th.
appropriate.
That's right. It is a Friday the
That is very
13th.
appropriate.
Oh, that is perfect. Thank you once again
Sure.
for
Yes.
talking with us, Todd.
Always a pleasure.
We love it. And thanks for inviting us here to old BLT. We certainly love this place. And so, is this... The show's been around for a little while. Have you ever directed the show before?
I never have. It
Okay.
is a show that I don't know why, but theaters have kind of shied away from because it's been around since 2003.
Yeah, it's been almost 20 years now. Yeah. Interesting.
And so when we were looking at shows, it was kind of serendipitous that we looked at it and we said, Friday the 13th. That works out good. It's available. It's not on tour. So it just kind of fell into our orbit.
That's great. It sounds like fun.
Yes, it looks like
And
fun.
I know you like costumes, so I'm going to have to ask you about what you're doing for costumes.
Well,
on
you
this
know,
one.
on this one, because it is kind of a monumental direct for me, we've hired it out. But it's to
Nice.
a partner in crime that has done many, many shows for me, and that's Leah Skarupa-Mezger.
Okay.
Who
Okay.
has worked for me in a couple of different theaters and has won the OEA 3 years in a row
Yay,
for costume
congratulations.
design.
Right.
So she'll do great things with this.
This
Yes.
will be great.
Yeah.
So we have green makeup in tow.
Absolutely. And big old Herman Munster forehead. So
Herman
right.
Munster forehead.
for those that know who Herman Munster is.
Yes.
Yes, I do remember.
Yes, indeed.
Yeah. There's this show is really, I mean, there's a lot of people, really talented people in it.
You
looking
have
at
an
the
embarrassment
names.
of riches, my friend, in
Yes,
the show
we
as
do.
I'm looking
We
at
had-
your cast.
Yeah.
We had as we were speaking earlier before we started the podcast,
Yes.
we had a very large number, one of the largest that BLT's ever had in the audition pool, and we had set one number, and when we got within one person of that number, the three of us, the three directors, looked at each other and went, now who do we cut? And we couldn't. So we ended up with 28, and it's
Yeah.
going to be a nice full stage.
Nice.
Huge, rich sound. So
That's great.
Yeah.
Oh, cool.
And you have our musical director, Benji Pettiford.
Yes, he is playing Victor Frankenstein, who's the original mad scientist that did the original creature.
Yes.
Yes. The grandfather of Frederick Frankenstein.
Frankenstein.
Yes.
I love it.
Oh, I love Benji. Benji will be great.
Yeah. I mean, so many great people on this.
Who is, so it's, you are the main director. Who's the musical director on
The
this?
musical director is Dr. Lorene Pickle, and then our choreographer is Debbie Massey Schneeweiss, and the three of us have been partners in crime for
Long time.
several years, and
Yeah.
we're proud of it.
Good. Yeah.
Awesome.
It
No, you
sounds
guys
like
do such a great
sounds
job.
like a great team.
All right, who's your Frankenstein?
Our monster
Yes.
is...
Or yes, the monster, sorry.
Is Fred Vogel. Oh. Yes, and Fred is a local middle school drama teacher.
Yes.
And it's kind of fun where he's concerned because he's been so working in his career, he hasn't had time to be on stage, and this is kind of his first foray onto the stage in quite a while.
Oh,
so
wow.
He was very excited, and he is a hoot and a holler, let me tell you.
Oh, it's such a fun part, man.
Yeah.
So many fun parts in this show.
So you guys are ready, it sounds like.
Well, I don't know that we're ready, but
Okay.
let's say we're where we need to
Oh,
be
good.
3 weeks out.
Okay.
Yes.
That's what we need to hear. That's awesome.
That is awesome.
Sets on this.
Yes.
There's kind of a lot of special consideration for sets on this.
There is, and that was even in the original Broadway production. Mel Brooks kind of lost his mind a little bit when he wrote it.
Did he?
Because it goes location after location after location after location. You're like, well, that's great when you have a multi-million-dollar budget and you can do pretty much anything you want on Broadway.
Right.
Yeah.
And I don't know, but I think that might be why a lot of smaller theaters like us have avoided it, because
They
you
shy
look
away
at the
from it.
script and you say, okay, what do we do?
Yeah.
And the way we solved it is there is a company that I love to work through that does actually animated digital backgrounds that you can lease for a month. And so we have leased the show, and they're specific to the show. They're animated. They have the ability to take us from location to location, and then we just fill in with some small pieces to go with. And it actually creates a pretty spectacular look when really all you're doing is swiping on a laptop and sending it through a projector, but it's really pretty cool.
And it's projecting onto the
very back. It fills the entire back of the stage like a backdrop would.
Okay.
But it's a digital backdrop that continues to move. And it's pretty brilliantly done. The company actually times it with the music and times it with the dialogue. And if there's something that needs to change, it can animate. And it's pretty slick.
How cool is that?
Yeah.
That's great.
That's a great solve for that problem too.
Yes.
And now you don't have to. Oh my God, set moving nightmare.
Yeah.
Yeah, and lengthen the show by at least 15 minutes because you're moving sets.
Although getting the lab on and off is still going to be one of those eye twitch moments where
I would say
there's a lot of stuff's got to come on and got to go off.
Yeah, I would say the lab probably still has a bunch of stuff in it.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. It'll be fun though.
Well, that's good though.
It'll be fun. It's fun stage props and stuff.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
All that old stuff.
And I'm going to put those 28 people to work because
There you go.
they're not only going to sing and dance, they're going to move stuff.
They're
Good for
gonna
them.
move stuff.
They can sing and dance while they move.
Well, I
That's
remember
right.
hearing from the old. I think I remember it was a director's commentary on something on the Young Frankenstein movie. The Mel Brooks went looking for the old Frankenstein equipment, and
Yes.
apparently
They found it.
They found it. And
Yeah.
So, like in the movie,
Wow.
It's
the
from
stuff-
the 1930s Boris Karloff movie.
which I thought was so cool.
Yeah. And here's a little, tidbit of information. This is the 50th anniversary of the original movie. Not the original, the original Young Frankenstein. It opened in 74.
50 years.
Wow.
So that was another reason why we hooked on to the title, because it's a nice publicity hook that it is the 50th anniversary of Young Frankenstein, 1974.
God.
I know.
I remember the little cards that came in bubble gum that had Frankenstein and all the different characters on it.
Oh, the Universal Monster.
we used to
trading
collect
cards,
those,
yes.
my brother and I.
Yes,
Yeah, I just dated
non-sports
myself right
trading
there.
cards,
Yep.
man. That used to be a thing.
But it wasn't nearly as entertaining as this production would be.
Oh, no, of course not. So, all right. So we know who the monster is. Who's your Frankenstein?
A young man by the name of Adam Fulbright.
Adam Fulbright.
Yes.
We've met Adam Fulbright.
Yes, we have.
He
Yes.
recently was in Chanticleer's A Chorus Line, and then last Christmas here, he was one of the two male leads in White Christmas.
And
Yeah.
White
So-
Christmas. That's right.
yes, he's got some chops.
No, Adam's great. We love Adam. All right. Who else are the big characters in here? Igor.
Igor is Donovan Carr,
Very nice.
and we're very lucky to have him. He is currently studying at the American Music and Dramatic Academy in New York.
Oh, wow.
And he's on his break right now,
Great.
so we hooked him in for it.
He's spending his break in Nebraska.
Right.
Very nice. And is he from the area?
Yes, he is.
He is from the area.
Yeah, he is
Okay.
from the area. And Hannah Post is Inga.
Inga.
Yes,
Inga.
what knockers? Which it was this, I've got to tell you this was hilarious. We were doing the Arrows to Aerospace parade a weekend or two ago.
Oh, good idea.
And someone yelled from the crowd, "Did you keep the knockers line?" And we said, "You betcha." So anyway, a classic line.
Of course.
Chloe Roseman plays the fiancee Elizabeth.
Oh, yes.
That was Megan Mullally on Broadway, of Karen of Will and
yes.
Grace.
Yeah, well,
Yeah.
the thing about she's
Yeah,
hilarious.
and so hilarious part.
Oh my God,
and
yeah.
Debbie Klein plays Frau Blucher every time when we hear the horses whinny.
Yes.
So I make sure I'm not missing anybody.
Yeah, you've got
That sounds like it.
So there's all the main people there.
Right.
yeah, 28 cast of 28.
Oh. And John Morrissey, who is an actor from the area who has kind of been in retirement for a while, and we ran into each other, and I will proudly say, he said, "For you, I'll come out of retirement if I can play the blind hermit." And I
the
said,
Gene
come
Hackman
on
part.
out, come on out. And guess who the blind hermit is?
Yay!
My friend John Morrissey. So anyway.
Oh, that's great.
Yep.
That's right. That was the part Gene Hackman played
Yep.
in the movie. Who a lot of people didn't even recognize Gene Hackman. He had a bunch of hair
And
a
you
big
know,
beard.
the folklore that goes with a lot of that scene is I think a lot of it was ad-libbed and they kept it all in
Was
the
it?
movie.
Yeah.
Yeah. So,
funny scene.
because he's a funny guy.
Just
Yeah.
goes to show you can never retire from theater.
No.
That's right.
Can always be brought back.
You can
That's
always be brought back.
Oh, there's always more stuff to do. There's always more stuff to do. So, okay. Every show has its challenges. Mm-hmm. What was the main sort of challenge? Because you did sort of overcome the set hurdle.
The set
Yes.
hurdle,
But you
yeah.
sort of had to. I think you probably figured that out before you said yes to.
Well,
the show.
yeah, absolutely.
Yeah,
Because,
yeah.
you know, we knew months and months in advance.
Right.
So we had plenty of time to prep for that.
Sure.
I would honestly say the biggest challenge, and we got extremely lucky, was you have got to have a troupe of legit tap dancers. You can't fake tap this one.
Yeah.
Because the
Okay.
whole putting on the Ritz sequence is like the huge 11 o'clock number in this.
Okay.
And you can't just bring somebody on and go tappa, 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 and then they leave.
Yeah.
It's a 7-minute tap number.
No kidding.
And so we lucked out, and we have 5 guys and 5 gals, so we have a troop of 10 on stage
Wow.
tapping. And it doesn't hurt that Igor taps and Frederick taps.
Okay.
And Inga, they all tap for real, like as actors.
Oh, wow.
So they're all brought in, and it's pretty spectacular.
That's great.
awesome.
And Debbie's choreography is just to die for. So
I'm so jealous of tap
Yep.
dancers. God, it's the one thing I can't do. I'm such a terrible dancer.
But that was, you know, when auditions were getting ready to happen, we're like, oh, fingers crossed, and we
Yes.
have tappers walk through.
Please,
and
yes.
then when they walked through, and we were like, ooh, we have
Nice.
10. So it's nice.
great.
It's
Come
very
here,
nice. That's a
come here.
huge challenge for this show.
So you didn't have to do any outreach to any dance
Nope.
companies or anything.
Not a single
Very
one.
nice.
And
Good
I
for
will
you.
brag.
Good for you. So besides tap dancing, what can you promise the patrons who come to this show?
Well, it's a lot of fast-paced humor. It is Mel Brooks.
Yes.
And he doesn't do a lot of subtle humor. You know, it's pretty in your face.
Yeah.
In a polite suggestion to the audience, it's a little naughty and it's a little irreverent.
Sure.
And so this
like
is
Mel
one of
Brooks.
those,
That's Mel
yeah,
Brooks.
this is one of those that I would say to someone, please be an informed consumer before you
Right.
walk in.
Fair enough.
I don't want you to be startled. Now, it's not filthy by any sense of
No,
the word,
no.
but it's not Mary Sunshine.
Yeah.
You know,
No.
So, and that's Mel Brooks. That's his comedy.
Yeah,
Yep.
exactly.
It is.
Exactly. That's why we love him anyway.
Right.
Oh yeah,
So.
absolutely.
Mel
I
Brooks.
love Mel Brooks.
And he's still with us too.
That's right. He's 99,
Knocking
I
on
think.
Yeah, I
all
would
of the
say
wood
he is.
right
Yeah,
here.
he is rapidly approaching 100 years old, and
Yep.
he is still with us and doing well. It's
Yeah.
so nice to see that Mel Brooks is still
Yeah.
with us. Actually,
Yep.
all the folks we grew up with are leaving us, Todd.
And a
But
few
how can that
more.
be when we're still only 35?
I know.
We're so young and spry. Oh my gosh.
Well, this sounds like so much fun.
I love this show. This is such a fun show. I'm so glad you guys decided to do
Costumes
this.
and
It's the
all of
whole
that.
package.
Yeah.
It's the whole package. You get fabulous acting, fabulous dancing, fabulous singing and music.
Yeah.
We're doing a live orchestra. We're not doing
that was-
we're not doing canned track.
Nice.
So,
Very
Good.
nice.
yep, we will have a full live
love
orchestra. And so it's just it's got everything you would want.
That's
so
great.
I hope people come out.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm
it's
sure
cool that
you'll
you
all
actually
do
got to
such a
develop
great
this.
job.
It actually kind of surprised me that you hadn't had an opportunity to touch this show yet.
Yeah, it's like I'd said,
Yeah.
it's a lot.
Yeah, it is
So
a
you
lot.
had to be prepared for it.
Fair enough. Fair enough.
So what's your next project? It's not till next spring?
My next project, me personally, is I am directing curtains at the Chanticleer
Oh.
next spring.
curtains.
Good for
Yes.
you. That's
So,
great.
and that will be my first time at Chanticleer. I
Chanticleer.
have never had the opportunity to direct there before. So,
Cool.
Yep.
They just
Yeah.
they just
and
got
at the
set up
beautiful
and
Pace
going.
facility.
Yes.
So.
Yeah.
It is.
Yeah.
It's great.
That'll be awesome.
So it opens September 13th.
Yes.
It runs to the 29th.
Yes.
You've got your ASL performance on September
27th.
27th.
Yes.
And then you are having a costume party.
We're doing a
opening
costume
night.
party on opening night, which is Friday the 13th, and it does also have a wine and cheese afterwards.
Oh,
so,
good.
Ooh,
so
okay.
we're pulling out as many stops as we can pull out.
Oh, nice. So opening
come in a
night-
costume and enjoy some wine and cheese after. So,
All right. Awesome.
Or is it Frankenstein?
Yes, in the show it's Frankenstein.
Frankenstein.
Because he
Frankenstein.
doesn't want to be associated with his grandfather.
That's right. So he's
Oh, that's
Frankenstein.
right, okay.
Yes.
Yes, indeed.
So, but you're calling it Young Frankenstein.
Well, that's
The name of the play is
Okay.
Young
because
Frankenstein.
the thing is, technically, he is Frederick Frankenstein.
Yes, he is.
He has purposely changed his name to stay away from being associated with his grandfather.
Yes, his crazy grandfather.
His crazy
Yes.
grandfather, yeah.
So that's why it's
So-
okay to say it that way.
And he ends up
Yeah.
inheriting all the stuff. And
That's one of
yeah.
the best opening lines of Igor is he said, so if it's Frankenstein, are you Froderick Frankenstein? And he's like, no, it's Frederick. And then he goes, so Igor, do this. And he goes, no, it's Igor. And corrects him. And so it's a good, rim shot moment where
Yeah.
it's like, okay,
That's a great
that's a
line.
good line. Yes.
That's great. So it's got comedy. Of course, it's
Yes.
comedy as well.
We
Comedy, dancing, costumes, music.
No, it's probably my favorite comedy.
Yep.
Yeah.
As far as movie wise.
Yep.
It's hard to beat.
I
It's
enjoy
hard to
comedy.
beat.
I enjoy escape.
Yeah.
Escape
And this one
into
lets
a
you escape because
positive
it's just
place.
pretty silly.
Yes.
Yeah.
No, Mel Brooks is great. We love him. We love talking to you. We love always finding out what you're doing. You're always doing something. Good,
Yep,
man.
always doing something good, Todd.
Trying.
Yep. And thank you so much.
You bet.
For
Yes,
always,
thank you.
always reaching out and and letting us know what you're doing and letting us come talk to you. We
I
really
love to
appreciate
talk,
it.
if you can't tell.
So do we.
All right, Young Frankenstein at BLT opens September Friday the 13th. Costume party
Bring
and
your
wine and cheese
costume.
afterwards.
Yep.
Come on down, and they're running till the 29th. Thank you, Todd.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right.
Thank you for listening and supporting the arts in the Platte River area and beyond. Please subscribe to our podcast so you are sure to catch all of our future episodes and join us on social media. See you next time on the Platte River Bard.